Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Ralphispsycho, and we're reacting to the top 10 worst CGI movie moments. Let's get into it.
10 terrible CGI movie moments you cannot unsee. Number 10, Baywatch, worst fire ever. 2017's Baywatch got you into the cinema for one of two reasons. You either wanted to stare at the pretty
I
cast
never
for 2
actually
hours,
watched
or
this
you heard
movie.
that the film was rated R and wanted to see what all the fuss was about.
Is
what
it good?
you definitely didn't expect to see
I don't
was
know.
out-of-this-world CGI effects which would have made Steven Spielberg proud. And it's a good thing too, because we
Oh my
definitely
God.
did not get that in this Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson vehicle. The infamous
he's rocking
moment
a
which
look,
stands
though.
out as one of the worst uses of CGI in modern movie history happens during Mitch Buchanan and the gang's daring attempt to rescue some civilians from a burning boat in the middle of the sea.
Let's see
As
it
they
then.
get close to the floating
Oh,
base, it becomes clear that
no.
these flames are 100%
No.
fake. Painfully fake.
Oh
the fire
my
looks like it was
God, that's terrible. That is horrible. Oh.
designed on Minecraft. Thankfully, the entire
Yeah.
clunky sequence doesn't last much longer than 5 minutes, so fans are free to get back to enjoying the view of the cast soon after. Number 9,
Yeah.
Gods of Egypt, Minotaur Attack. After the initial
Minotaur?
trailers dropped for 2016's
I like
Gods
this
of
movie.
Egypt, it was clear to
It's
most
chill.
that this film wasn't going to be boasting out-of-this-world visual effects. However, the
Nah.
promise of Gerard Butler hamming it up as an Egyptian god would surely be enough to distract us from the outdated CGI on show, right? Wrong. So wrong.
So
One particular
wrong.
instance of truly dreadful CGI came during a scene which involved a bunch of Minotaurs ambushing Brenton Thwaites, only for Nikolai Coster-Waldau's Horus to pop up and save the day at the last moment. Unfortunately, the nasty Minotaurs on show here look like they've been ripped straight out of an old stop-motion King Kong movie. For a feature which had a $140 million budget to play with, it's quite embarrassing that the end result turned out to be near unwatchable at times due to some of the laziest CGI in recent history. Number 8, Hellboy. That Ian McShane moment. When Hellboy finally returned to our screens in 2019, fans wandered into the film with a spring in their step, as the first few glimpses of the reboots looked promising. Sadly, what we got in the end was a half-assed attempt to bring Hellboy's world to life, with the majority of the CGI on show being borderline offensive. The disjointed scene where David Harbour's Hellboy fights off some CGI giants definitely sticks out as one of the worst visual offenses in the film. However, that scene looks like a visual masterpiece compared to that Ian McShane moment at the end of the movie. McShane's Trevor Broom had just been killed by Mila Jovovich's Blood Queen, so a pissed off Hellboy decides to finally yank out Excalibur and looks set to bring about the apocalypse, as you do. Then, in a last gasp attempt to appeal to his human side, Alice uses her powers to channel Broom's spirit, who then tells the demonic being that he is better than this. Unfortunately, the feature's relatively small $50 million budget meant that the team weren't able to juggle a deeply realistic Anung Unrama and convincing second coming of Broom at the same time.
Look at
so
him.
we just got this weird head on top of an animated umbilical cord instead. Number 7, Gemini Man.
Weird so.
Will Smith. When your entire marketing campaign
watched
focuses
this.
on the fact that a
I didn't watch that.
well-known
I didn't finish
acting
it, though.
superstar would be fighting a younger version of themselves in your movie, you have to stick the landing on that
That's a cool idea, though.
de-aging job. Unfortunately, Gemini Man wasn't able to do just that with their cloned version of Will Smith in the 2019 action thriller. There were moments when the effect worked a treat, and audiences were allowed to fully invest in the idea of Smith's character, Henry Brogan, genuinely being faced with the prospect of fighting off a quicker, stronger version of himself. However, at too many points in the story, we were left wincing at just how jarring the finished CGI was in this paint-by-numbers action flick.
It is a
Yet
little.
by far the clunkiest piece of CGI in the big-budget flop was the final scene involving Brogan's clone being visited by the original Brogan at college. Too many Brogans. Here, the clone looks like he's been
look at him.
in from a cut.
Bro, that boy is not, he's not even there. What is that?
scene in a video game, and a film which seemed focused on delivering next-level visual effects ultimately ends on a de-aging duff note. Number 6, Cats. Pretty much all of it. All of the talk coming into Tom Hooper's cinematic take on Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats centered around the director's use of groundbreaking visual effects to bring his titular felines to life. Yet, when the first
I need to watch
hit
this
the internet
movie
for this visual furball, fans all around the world were left feeling slightly disturbed or even concerned about what had been conjured up by the film's visual effects team. Actors such as Sir Ian McKellen and Dame Judi Dench had been morphed into catrocities before our very eyes. But we were still a few months away from the film's release date. However, they could not improve the visuals in time. Instead, they rushed the feature into cinemas and were forced to re-release another version of the film at a later date. To cover up some CGI blunders such as Dench's wedding ring being very much visible. Sadly, even the re-release couldn't mask the odd decision to put noses on inconsistently sized, digitally altered cat/human hybrids. And so much of the film just ended up feeling like one big acid trip. Number 5, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, Fake Gravestones. Coming into the third installment of the Terminator franchise, fans were pretty much convinced that the series could do no wrong. The original James Cameron flick boasted some of the best practical effects of its time, and Judgment Day also held its own in terms of its impressive visuals. Rise of the Machines did its best to keep pace with its predecessors in 2003, but there were a few moments where the effects stuck out like a sore mechanical thumb. The worst of which goes down in a cemetery, when Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator is attempting to flee the scene with John Connor in a coffin. After safely shoving said coffin into the backseat of a hearse, the pair pick up Kate Brewster just as she's about to be blown to bits by the evil T-X. But not before Arnie blasts the nasty robot with a rocket launcher straight into one of the worst digitally rendered objects in cinema history. An ill-fated gravestone.
Oh, that was terrible. The dust and everything. What was that, bro?
Saved, and the three managed to get away from the scene. However, the fans in the cinema could not get away from the fact that they just witnessed some absolutely rotten CGI in a near $200 million blockbuster. Number 4, Venom. Final battle. Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock morphing into the hulking symbiote was a visual treat at times in 2018's Venom, and the scene where he completely massacred a SWAT team was a particular highlight of the Spider-Verse spin-off. However, all that good work was very nearly overshadowed by a few cringeworthy CGI moments in the climactic final battle between Venom and Riot and Eddie Brock and Carlton Drake. As the enemies tear chunks out of each other, both symbiotes half split away from their hosts. In this moment, Venom and Riot are seen trying to get the better of one another, while Drake and Brock continue to wrestle for dominance. Yet it was painfully obvious that a cartoonish Hardy and Riz Ahmed had been digitally placed into that scene. If that terrible CGI beat wasn't bad enough, when time slows down as Riot slowly engulfs Brock and Venom, the flick quickly starts to enter B-movie visual territory.
Oh no. Oh no. That boy is in a green suit. He is in a green suit getting his face ripped off by digital editors that are killing the movie.
Which isn't exactly what you want from a film which cost over $100 million to make. Number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Shark Attack. There was a time when the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise was home to some of the most convincing visual effects in modern cinema. However, here we are off the back of the most recent outing for Johnny Depp's Captain Jack Sparrow in 2017's Dead Men Tell No Tales, and it looks as though the CGI wheels have completely fallen off this once visually stunning world. Depp's de-aging in the flick wasn't actually half bad, but that's about as good as it got for the 5th Pirates film's visuals. The worst culprit came during a scene where Jack and Brenton Thwaites' Henry Turner were being chased by ghost sharks. Yep, they're a thing now. Looking, ironically, like the sort of unpleasing visual effect you'd find in an immersive theme park ride. The moment where one of the sharks jumps out of the water and attempts to munch the two main characters felt about as believable as the thought of a decent...
Bro, just get a toy shark and I'll believe that more, I think.
fifth Pirates film did on paper. Number 2, The Predator, Predadogs. Though many felt that the most soul-destroying part of Shane Black's The Predator was the film's decision to make the big evil a badly animated Ultimate Predator, I see your super CGI'd 11-foot-tall monstrosity and raise you a pair of god-awful Predadogs. These two just looked positively terrible, and their appearance only got worse during a scene which involved the Abominations trying to turn Jacob Tremblay's Rory McKenna into Predator chum. Clearly trying to cover up just how much of a visual mess these alien
Bro, what am I watching? A TV show, bro? They look terrible.
Canines had become. Most of the action involving them took place at night. However, even that couldn't stop one of the dogs looking like a creature out of an early installment of the Doom franchise when it was swatted away by an oncoming vehicle. Things went from bad to worse when one of the dogs decided to chase down Boyd Holbrook's Quinn McKenna, only to be turned into a deeply unsatisfying gloopy green disaster in midair thanks to a grenade being pumped down his throat.
Oh my god, the blood, the blood.
Time making sure those CGI characters didn't resemble entities from an early 2000s video game. He could have at least produced a Predator film that bloody looked the part. Number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Ego's Expansion. When the first Guardians of the Galaxy film
I watched the new
one.
The new one's
2014,
cool.
It was universally praised for its mix of perfectly crafted humor and deeply flawed characters who you could fully relate to. Even the talking tree. Yet one aspect of that first film, which was a little overlooked, was just how stunning some of the visual effects were. So that's why it was so weird to see such a blatantly awful piece of CGI wedged into the finale of the 2017 sequel. As Ego's seedlings began to terraform and his expansion started to become a reality, MCU fans in cinemas all over the planet couldn't help but wonder why his terrifying plan looked an awful lot like a blue version of flubber-eating cities. Thankfully, the epic battle between Peter Quill and his father, coupled with Yondu's heartbreaking sacrifice, helped cover up this big old blue mess. But for a moment there, it definitely looked like James Gunn had completely crapped the CGI bed in the final moments of
what is
Volume
this?
2. And that's our list. Know of any other terrible CGI moments?
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video of the reaction show.